Russia versus Ukraine.
Whether Russia and the U.S. go to war, or whether, as Vanden Heuvel says, the U.S. will take on China, this is a war between slave masters, okay? This is nothing but modern-day slavery. And when the slave masters fight, you don't side with one or another master. You don't side with my master. You take advantage of the fact that they're fighting to overthrow the whole institution of slavery, to get free. And this is how we have to look at it when these imperialists fight. We're not rooting for our imperialists. We are welcoming the defeat of these modern-day slave masters in whatever they undertake, okay? Because that is one step, or could be, if we do our work right, one step closer to being able to make a revolution to overthrow them altogether.
There was a one thing called Africa. This was one thing. It was divided by colonizers. These borders are artificial borders imposed on us by colonizers. Why do you want to behave like you are owning colonizers' properties? These borders are colonizers' property, not ours. Let us go back to African unity. We want one voice, one Africa. We must stop doing away with African hate, which was instilled in us by the colonizers. When you say, hey, there are too many Zimbabweans here, there are too many Nigerians here, hey, you are doing the work of the devil, which is to divide Africans.
If you set up a black organization, somebody white knocking at the door, let me in. And if you don't let me in, you know, that's a racist group you're in. How many of you belong to Hillel? Ain't no black people belong to that, do you? Why not? You're not interested in that. You mean to tell me black people cannot have a black organization that speaks to black concerns without white folk in it? That's racism? Please. Yes, you're all practicing reverse racism. No, the problem is you're so frightened to see black people get together. You think we're always conspiring against you.
So this right here, this is what we're not going to do on my page. We're not going to come in with white fragility and white guilt and, oh, don't blame all white people. The problem is white people. That's the fucking problem. The problem is us. So when black people say, why do white people do this shit? They have every right to say that. Because white people have been fucking their lives up for centuries. And the white people who say, well, I'm not racist, but what are you doing to fix the problem? What are we doing? Are we voting? Are we spreading the word? Are we trying to educate each other? Are we trying to say, hey, listen, this is a white people problem. We can't keep putting racism on black people. We have to do something. You're not going to come on my page with white fragility, white guilt, white tears, or anything like that and say anything to a black creator not on my page. That we're not doing. That person has every right to say, why do white people do this shit? You know why? White people do this shit.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the direction. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
We believe in freedom, justice, and equality, regardless to creed or class or color. That is what we believe. We do not believe in black supremacy, but most certainly we do not believe in white supremacy. that system of oppression that currently dominates our planet. Our job, a part of our remit, and a part of our agenda is to pull down the false premise of white supremacy, which most of the human family have bought into, not just white people. We got black people who are white supremacists. We got brown people who are white supremacists. And of course, the white man is the author and the maintainer of white supremacy. Our job is to pull down and destroy the false concept of white supremacy and to raise up the equally false concept of black inferiority from the ground where it's been crushed to. And so we're going to pull black people up with no apology to nobody who want to call us reverse racist. And while white supremacy comes down and black inferiority rises, we meet in the middle. And now we can deal as human beings. No more master-slave relationship. The master-slave relationship is finished. That is our stance. That is what we believe. Nobody takes the black man serious. We're just used to be somebody's tool. We are the sportsmen. We're the singers and the dancers. And we're also labeled as the pimps and the criminals and the drug dealers and the killers and the vagabonds of society. We're the bogeymen of British society and other Western systems. And we want to dispel that lie and destroy those myths and put the black man back on the map where we belong. Who is the black man? The black man is the original man. If it wasn't for the black man, no other men could be on this planet. We are the fathers of humanity.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true.
It's an older group.
Huh?
It's an older group.
What's an older group?
In anthropology, it's an older group.
The Caucasian?
Yes.
No, sir.
The oldest group in terms of three groups. Like
No.
Negro and Caucasoid.
Okay, let's deal with it.
The origination of the word human.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Let's deal with this. See, because look, I know you're a wise man, and so you must understand that I'm a baby in wisdom, but I'm not a fool. And he's saying here today that the Caucasian is in fact the oldest group on the planet. I beg to differ. Look, one of the most famous anthropologists is Professor Leakey. And when Professor Leakey went in search of the origin of human beings and human species, he didn't stop very long in Europe. He went to Africa. And the oldest bones and the oldest human beings to this day that you call Zinjanthropus, using the Latin meaning Zinjanthropus, using the Latin meaning Zin and Xanthropus, meaning a black man, that oldest man, they say, is millions of years old. You went back and found one even older than that. You called her Lucy, a black woman.
Go ahead.
And every sensible historian, anthropologist today agrees that the black man is the father of human beings. Even your geneticist, Mr. Mendel.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have Mendel's law.
Go ahead.
Mendel says that light eyes are recessive, light skin is recessive. You can take the recessive, the dark skin is dominant, the dark eyes are dominant. You can take the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive. This is Mendel's law. And so all of your scientists have proved that you can't look. Black is not even a color.
That's right. Teach.
Black is the mother and father of all colors.
Teach.
That's why the scripture says, in the beginning was blackness. And if you want a baby, even if the woman is a white woman, the baby has to come out of the triple darkness of her womb. And this is the origin of all life. Within the black, you have the whole color spectrum. But in white, you can, two white people laying down together, they can only produce white. But two black people in darkest Africa can lay down together and produce albino with blonde hair and blue eyes.
That's right. Teach, Muhammad.
This happens all the time. And so we need to really get these facts correct today and understand that as gray as your hair is, you are listening to your father today.
Teach, Muhammad.
This is daddy talking.
Teach.
And we mustn't turn. No, this is true. I'm not mocking. This is true. And I'm telling you, I believe that this man is even sincere in what he says. But this is the problem.